Welcome to SpinTown, everyone. I'm outside the cobble bitch in the Skybases that I built for our Walls 101 series, and today we have our first official episode of that series. Now, some of you have probably seen the episode I did with Zach over on his channel where he was trying to defend this Skybase against me and Ollie and everything, and that video was fine. It was more of a promotional tool for SpinTunes and for this new series, and I was giving away some Minecraft gift codes over there, so that video had multiple purposes, and it got a little bit messy as far as, a lot of distractions. And I want to make sure I hit the points that I want to hit because you guys took the time to ask questions, I want to make sure I answer them. And by far, the most common questions revolved around Skybases, it seemed like, whether it's how to defend them or how to attack them. In today's video, I want to make sure I go over how to defend them more so than how to attack them. Maybe that'll be the next video. The number one thing I need to mention is that you don't always need to skybase. And I never go into a match saying, hey, I'm going to skybase this match. Well, I shouldn't say never, because I've done it a couple times just to annoy the hell out of Mark and Wolf. But when I'm playing serious, I never go into a game saying, hey, I'm going to skybase. I let my materials that I get while I'm mining dictate my strategy. Normally, I'm all about wanting to rush, because I want the diamonds, and it's just, it's easier to win when you're rushing. But let's say I'm mining and I'm doing really horrible at getting iron, but I have a bow and I have maybe 30 some arrows, maybe a bucket of lava to go along with it. In that particular situation, if I don't have a lot of teammates rushing with me, skybasing isn't a bad option, okay? Some people like to say it's a pussy move or something like that, but nah, if you don't have the materials to succeed on the ground, but you have a lot of great materials to skybase with, skybase, okay? It makes sense. You're trying to win the game. You're not trying to please your opponents or your teammates, But the number one thing is you need a bow and you need arrows. If you only have a bow with maybe 8 arrows, you should not be skybasing. If that's all you got, you're not going to be able to defend your skybase. You need a pretty good supply of arrows if you're in the snow biome. You don't really have to rely on the arrows. You can use snowballs, which is pretty good. It's not as good, but you can live without a whole bunch of arrows in the snow biome. You can just get a snow golem. You can make one up in your skybase, have unlimited snowballs, and use that to try to knock people down to their death. And the reason I say 5 or 6 arrows or even 8 or so, it's not enough to survive or to protect your skybase, is simple. If I'm attacking this skybase right here, and a lot of them have ladders going up to them. Some of them don't. It doesn't really matter if you do or if you don't. I prefer not to have one if I'm going to try to protect it. It makes it a little bit harder for them to get up. But if I'm pillaring or if I'm climbing this ladder and you shoot me 5 or 6 times in the face with, an arrow, yeah, it's going to hurt, but I'm pretty sure if I have full armor, I'm going to be able to take that damage. And then once you run out of arrows, I'll just sit right here, regenerate my health, switch over to my sword, go up and hack and slash you into little bitty pieces. Okay, it's an easy victory for me if that's all you have. Now, let's say you do have a bow and arrow and you have plenty of arrows. You got a vast supply. But you also have a little bit of TNT at your disposal. You see a lot of skybases with cobble or other materials jutting out from the side. And sometimes they'll have a redstone torch directly in front of your wall you've built. That's because people want to be able to drop TNT quickly. And look at that. Place it. It drops immediately. You don't have to do anything to set it off. The redstone torch is already there. And the reason that they build them out like that is so you don't have to jump up on your wall, back up, and look down like this. Because when you're looking down like this, if somebody shoots you with a bow or somebody hits you with a snowball or a chicken egg, you're going to fall to your death. In this case, I have water underneath me, but, normal circumstances, I'm going to fall to my death. I do not ever suggest building your skybase directly over water like this because you want it to be more dangerous for your not your teammates, but your opponents to pillar up. If they're pillaring up over water and you shoot them off, they're not going to die. Okay, you want them to be vulnerable, and you want that land to be down there so when they hit, they die. The whole point of skybasing is to put them in a vulnerable situation. By building up over water, you're not putting them in a vulnerable situation. Now, it's okay to build close to water, Like if there's water over in this area right here and you're about to be overrun, you can have like a little, maybe a 10 block bridge built right here and then run from your skybase, dive into the water over there. But you definitely do not want to build directly beneath water. Um, you don't have to use redstone torches to set off your TNT quickly. If you want, some people use pressure plates. I particularly don't like pressure plates because to set the TNT off, I have to jump up here. And again, maybe somebody from over here is pillared up and they get a good shot with a bow, it knocks me off in this direction, and I'm dead. So I don't like to have my TNT igniter force me to put myself in a vulnerable situation. But if you decide you want to use a pressure plate, just like that, stick a piece of cobble out so you don't have to jump up here to place your TNT. Jump up, jump back down, your TNT's on its way. Another way I like to use set off my TNT is with a lever. Same situation as with this pressure plate. You don't have to have any redstone to do this, which is one advantage to making a lever or pressure plate. Just set your TNT right there, and it goes off. Very simple. TNT is great for defending sky bases. If you know how to use it, there's been a time or two, hell, I've about blown myself up using the TNT. I'm not an expert with it. One thing you definitely don't want to do is you don't want to try to drop TNT if you got a ladder here, that when you pillared up to your base, you put a ladder there. If you drop your TNT from right here, it's not going to go anywhere. You're going to blow yourself up because the ladder's going to catch it. So don't do that. Another thing that's a great advantage to when you're in a sky base is lava. And a lot of people misuse lava. You don't need, 4 or 5 buckets to lava to defend a giant sky base or anything like that. If I have 1 bucket of lava and I'm in this sky base, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to where I think somebody's going to be pillaring up at. So I'm going to place my lava right there. And I'm just going to let it sit there for a few seconds, because lava is extremely slow. But then I can pick it up. That lava is still going to be there. If there's anybody down there, there's going to be a pile of lava there. They won't be able to stay there for long. Then I'm going to place it somewhere else. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to place it right there. And I can place it all around my base. I can have my base completely surrounded by lava with just 1 bucket. So it's incredibly handy. If somebody's trying to pillar up directly beneath you, it pretty much eliminates the threat of somebody coming directly from under you if you have a bucket of lava. Because even with this ladder here, I can take away this first rung of the ladder, place it right there, and yeah, if they're standing right here perfectly still, the lava is going to go around them. It's not going to hit them, but they're going to catch on fire. If they don't walk, or if they don't climb down and then go off to the side, eventually that lava will catch them on fire. So yeah, it's a great tool to have. If I get lava in game while I'm mining, I definitely think about, hey, might be a good time to skybase. I don't always, but I always at least think about it. I look at my materials and I go, do I got enough to rush effectively, or should I just go ahead and switch my tactics right now? Let's see. What else do I need to talk about when mentioning the skybase? I think I already mentioned it. The reason I have the 3 different bases connected by the walkways is so I can always have an angle to shoot at somebody. If that right there is a pillar where somebody's pillaring up to get into my base, I can shoot them from 3 different sides right here. If they're climbing up the side where the ladder's at, I got a clear shot at them. Bam, knocked them off the pillar. If they're climbing up on this side of a pillar, bam, I can sit here and just pelt them with arrows the entire way they climb up. If they're climbing up over on that side, bam, I just knocked them off the ladder and they fell to their death. The only place they're safe from me in this position is on the opposite side of that pillar. But since I have these 3 bases here connected with these walkways, all I have to do to hit that guy now is walk right over here. Now look, bam, just knocked him to his death. So by having the 3 bases connected with the walkways here, it allows you to hit anybody that builds up directly under you or within that triangle. They really have no way to stay safe from your arrows. There's always going to be an angle for you to hit them, is the point. So that's why I do like to have 3 different bases. The reason I have these set up with like 2 different levels in each base is just because, I was building and thinking, hey, best case scenario, what could I possibly build in a game of walls? This is not a very, let's see, practical base, because it would take a lot of materials. But the reason I do have it at 2 levels is so I can put the walkway up here. And that way when I'm shooting down at the people pillaring up, that walkway isn't in my way and I have a clear shot at people. If I only had 1 level, that walkway is right here blocking my view of that ladder. I would not be able to shoot the ladder like that and anybody climbing up the ladder. So that's the reasoning behind that. This video is starting to get pretty long, and this is only the first episode. I think I've talked about a number of ways to defend your skybase. I haven't even talked about gravel yet, but I will do that in another episode. I want to thank you for watching thus far, and I appreciate your time. Goodbye. Alright guys, I'm back again because I forgot to mention the video challenge for today's video. Your video challenge is pretty simple. If you have some musician that you follow on YouTube and you like their stuff, I want you to go to their channel, find their most recent video, and tell them, hey, you should compete in SpinTunes. If you do that, go in the comments of this video down below, let me know what channel you went to, and that way I can verify it. So if you like Keena Grannis, and I love Keena Grannis, so you would comment in this video saying, hey, I went to Keena's channel and told her to compete in SpinTunes. That's all you gotta do. Go to her channel, say compete in SpinTunes, then let me know in the comments whose channel you went to. Very easy way to possibly win a raffle ticket. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big name YouTuber. It doesn't have to be somebody really famous like Keena Grannis or David Choi on YouTube. It could be somebody that I've never heard of. Maybe that person has 1 or 2 subscribers. That is perfectly fine. As long as it's a musician who uploads, you know, original music to their channel or covers, just whatever, on YouTube, it'll work. Also, I gave away, or I announced 2 Minecraft gift code giveaways that I was doing in Zach's recent video he did with me. I will link to that right here. Click the annotation. You can still possibly win that. I will announce the winner to those contests in my next video. So there will be at least 2 people getting Minecraft free gift codes in my next video. And there will also be somebody who wins a raffle ticket for today's video challenge. Good luck to you all. Thanks for watching. Once again, goodbye. I subbed you, ma'am. Why would you do that? Is what the person I just killed said. They whispered it to me. Yeah. Man, thanks for shooting that guy. I didn't even take a hit. That was a nice shot.